Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us, watching, listening here in the United States or abroad. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the show. We are glad to have you here, grateful for your time, your love, and your support all across the tenure of our organization, Voices for Voices. If you can do us a gigantic favor and give us a couple thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, repost, that will help us reach an even bigger audience. If you're able to follow us on social media, Voices for Voices is everywhere. Come find us. Let's connect. And if you are able to reach out to 25, 50, maybe 100 contacts in your phone and let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We'd love to have some new faces, new friends, and add to our community of helping others with mental health challenges, without mental health challenges, trauma, uh, just being a human being is is turning out to be the best antidote for our show, and it is hitting on those mental health, trauma recovery pillars, that foundation uh, of myself forming, founding the organization. So we're so thankful to have you with us. And again, tell a friend, tell five, tell 100 friends about Voices for Voices. We have a huge goal. We want to not only reach, but we want to help at least 3 billion people with a B, billion. We want to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And we're well on our way to doing so because of you. Thank you very much. We've had a absolutely insane weather here in the area where I reside. Yeah, one day we are at 17, the next day we're at like 35. Uh, and we're in this like wind tunnel, wind vortex area where the wind is hitting our dwelling, and just pounding it. I I've known what wind can do, but until you see some things up close and personal, you don't really see it. You know what I mean? Like, you understand, like, wind can cause a lot of, you know, wind damage to a dwelling, uh, but to actually see it up close and personal. So, we've had that. So we're waiting for spring to come to stay, and we will be absolutely grateful when it does. We've also had crazy growth of grass, um, where I can't remember. Usually, the first time you mow the grass, it's like, well, once you get started, you kind of have to keep going. And I I've just never seen, not only uh, where we're at, but others. I mean, grass that you wouldn't think belonged to a house. But so those are just a couple of the things that some people are mowing, using weed eaters and blowers. So You may hear a little bit of that in the background. You also may hear a little bit of that wind. We got some wind kicking up today. And last but not least, you may hear the jingle bell of our dog, Lucy, who is recovering very amazingly from her surgery. And so she's day by day getting more and more uh, ambitious, more energy, more healing, for which is the main part is that she's healing. Um, so we have that all kind of going on. We've had a little bit of a busy week that we've covered in several episodes for the previous week. Upcoming, we have a little bit of a less busy week uh, coming up. Now, I say that watch watch things kind of pick up steam, but we'll be ready. So it's again, it's you learn, you educate as much as you can, try to create efficiencies where you can that cuts down the amount of time it takes to work on certain projects and tasks. Uh, and then you go from there. And one of uh one of the ways that I like to reduce my stress is to stay away from the computer uh and not not have to not to feel the need to have to do uh a certain amount of shows a week or a certain amount of shows a day, because we don't. We are sharing as human beings do. Uh, and that's all we can do. We can only do the work of the amount of people we have. Anything more, we would definitely be at, the burnout phase or stage. Not the burnout, like uh, the rocket boosters of Artemis that just circled the moon, but burnout of the mind, the body, just feeling like so many things are going on that we can't keep track of, uh, and that happens, and I think it's a big issue for more people than want to like think about it. I know some people be like, "Oh, you're using that as a crutch." Well, I don't think so. And here's why. Why, if I had the opportunity to do more than less, I would. So why would I use a crutch, a supposed crutch, mentally, just so I can do, not do as much? It just doesn't make sense, at least to me, because I'm about maximum efficiency, maximum output. And so that's where it lands. That's where it lands with me. Now, maybe some people do use it as a crutch. Certain challenges. I don't know. I'm not one of those people, so I'm not going to put words in nobody's mouth. I'm I'm just gonna share mine. I mean, if I had it my way, which we know God's in charge, a higher power's in charge. If we're a believer, if we're not, then we feel that we're in charge. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be approaching 500 total episodes. We would be approaching like 5,000 episodes. See what I mean? Uh, well, it sounds better going on 5,000 or going on 500. Usually the higher number sounds sounds the best. Uh, so no, people that want to talk to others, talk down on each other, saying we're just using this particular challenge, this particular illness as a crutch. Oh, okay. That's one of those things where you let people talk, you let them share, and then you kind of move on. Like, okay, you said your piece, so I've got to go. I am busy. I will talk to you later. And then we hang up the phone and we continue on doing what we're doing or what's next. Maybe taking a self-care break. We're allowed to do that. I mean, I see all the time living where I live. There's a lot of a certain profession that we see on the roadways during a certain part of the year who it looks like there's 10 people standing there and one person doing the job. That would not fly um, in my organization, in the Voices for Voices organization. There's gonna be no standing around. Yeah, we might take breaks, but we're not gonna have 10 people take who knows how long breaks to watch one person do the work. If that's the case, then we don't need 11, we don't need the 10 plus the one doing the work. We just need the one doing the work and maybe a spotter, making sure they're following safety protocols. Uh, and following safety protocols is very important. I know so many of you tuned in to our A Brand New Day Gala, our second annual, I believe it was. Heavily music. Have We had lots of music. We had awesome speakers across the board. It was truly an amazing event. And when I think about safety features, if anybody knows what a scissor lift is, you can go ahead and do a search and see what comes up. Uh, and so you have me, let's say like a novice guitar player, maybe novice singer, reciting words more in a conversation tone. And what do you have as far as safety protocol? Why do we need safety protocol? Oh, because I wanted I think it was a 25 or 30 foot scissor lift. So basically, it's usually meant for I think a lot of different things. One of which can be music, where to be at higher ground, to catch people's attention better. going, oh my gosh. So the scissor lift, you know, climb on, and then it goes up like this, up to it was like 30 feet. But uh, given the camera angles that we had available, I think we made it to 20 feet high. And so who was on that scissor lift? Yours truly. And I, especially since I, hit rock bottom and, coming back mentally and in that I've been so, I was like terrified, but scared, I guess, fearful of heights. And I used to not be. I don't know if it's a getting older thing or what it is. Uh, so I wanted to do what I did for a lot of reasons. Number one, you have, the playing guitar of like, hey, this person is not a, a trained guitarist or, you know what I mean? And here he is playing the guitar. Secondly, here's this person that's not really a singer, just winging it, not only in front of the people in person, but so many of you that tuned in live stream on that night or morning, depending on where you were at in the world, and so many downloads since then. So to inspire others, I was so scared. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was it was a scary thing because uh oh, and then on top of that, the lights were out. There's a spotlight on me, and so I got to feel how warm, that felt and feels. We have so yeah, we have the fear of heights. I was tackling the fear of playing music on my guitar in front of people, a lot of people I didn't know. Again, watching in person, listening in person, and again, live stream. And since then, it's available. It's part of our live section of our YouTube profile. So you go to our YouTube Voices for Voices YouTube profile, you go to live, and then you'll want to pick, I think, the second annual Gala. So we have, the Afraid of Heights, not just the, like going up, but it's remaining there. So you want to talk about balance? I was like, I had, so I had like kind of like a little bit of like a little bit of the squatting, feet wide, a little wider, because otherwise the scissor lift would go back and forth. And so that was scary. So I felt that I was inspiring people to do something like that. Not that they have to do what I did when it comes to the scissor lift, but I wanted to inspire others to do something that they've wanted to do that's safe. Um, and that maybe they haven't done in a while, maybe they've never done, they've dreamed about doing it. And if they've been given an opportunity to do it, I wanted to have that be a moment of inspiration. Uh, because I was up there, I think a total of like 15, 20 minutes between the songs and then the talking and then of course you have electronics involved. I had the teleprompter with the lyrics facing me and had, of course, a little issue with that. So I was working through that and trying to not be scared while also holding on a conversation with so many people in person and watching. Uh, Again, that night or morning, depending on where you live. And then the singing and playing guitar. I mean, those are three big areas that I mean it. I I want to inspire people. I want people to dream. I want you, I want others, I want everybody to feel like they can do something that they haven't, or maybe they've done it and maybe it's been, many years ago, or maybe a friend or somebody they know is doing something and they're like, well, I can't do that. That's what, so and so does. I'll tell you this, the last time, so as we were doing the setup for the show, the tech team, which I think there's like 10 people because we they built the stage. Um, had the scissor lift. We had the black background. We had the we, we had some flags for the country, and we had just done a mission trip, and just got back. And man, I just wanted to inspire people, and I think that's what got me through it. I get asked a lot about that. How did you get through it? How do you get through these times? You say you're an introvert, but here you are on camera all these times. And I think, and it's playing out to be true from what I can see, is how bad I want to inspire people and want people to do the best that they can. I don't want them to do anything dangerous that doesn't have safety protocols and all those things. Um, I want them to be safe when they do it. If there's something that they want to do, if they've, I don't know what that could be. There's a thousands and thousands and thousands and probably millions of different things. Somebody maybe learning to ride rollerblades or I don't know. I know growing up, I think I had a pair, or maybe I rented a pair at the roller rink, and I didn't fare too well, and so I know I don't have the best balance, so that's what made the scissor lift performance even more because I'm like I don't have the balance, and there was nobody there that really was going to be able to help me. I mean, like if I would have lost my balance so much, and I had a guitar on, so the guitar didn't weigh a whole lot. But if I was focusing on keeping my balance like side to side instead of front to back, because let's say if for an Olympic diver, and they go up to the diving board and they get to the end, and then they you know at some point lean forward or start there, or they do the jump and then they start doing all the twists and turns. uh that wouldn't have worked very well for the scissor lift. It would have been dangerous. uh Luckily that didn't happen and came out. uh but the tech team, they They said the last time they saw a musician, and again, I'm not a, I guess I'm a musician. I guess we're all musicians. We're just at our own level. We're at our own speed. And they said the last time they saw that was at a Kiss concert, the legendary rock band Kiss. And so I'm like, oh, wow. Like, uh, and so then I think about the whole dreaming aspect. I, the longer I have between where I'm at a given time and then an event that I'm going to be taking place with or being a part of, the more time I have, the more my mind works. And that's kind of how that came about. So that event came about. We were having special needs band playing, and I was like, well, maybe I can play a song with them, a song or two, or had no intention of trying to sing, trying to just recite the words to songs. But then my mind was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I could get I could, because I didn't know what it was called. I was like, maybe I can get a lift there and it can go up, a certain to a certain height. And then I can play a song with the band. And then I was like, well, that's taken, that's taken the people's attention away from the band and making it about me. So I was like, well, the really only other way to do it is to either go out solo on stage or to do what I did. Um, and so the days went on. I started looking into it. I came to conclusion, and it happened, and it being the decision to do it, and for it to happen is literally like a dream because I don't think I'll ever do that again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. I guess if I'm given the opportunity and the time presents itself, maybe. But it's something where I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen again. And I've been to a lot of concerts and that and I think I've seen a couple. I think maybe I did see Kiss when they did the Scissor lift. But I was thinking like, how can I do something? Not that it's never ever been done before. How can I do something that's kind of just over the top? That if people don't remember anything, they remember the speakers, they remember what they're talking about, their mental health journey. We had parents. We had a parent of a child, unfortunately took his own life. We had incredible speakers, showing an incredible, they're just so brave to get up and talk about the topics and experiences. And so when I talk about dreaming, I don't talk about it as like me telling you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Not the actual not the actual action or experience, but I wanted to give you and everyone out there how dreaming worked for me, how my mind worked, and you can do what you want to do, right? Everything being equal, like being able to pay for, have safety precautions, and what ha have you. You know, if we take all that, if we take all those things out and we say, what if money was not money and safety and that wasn't an issue or a topic, what would there be something that I would want to do or try? And then that's how the mind starts. May start with nothing for a while, or it may start with one thing and then evolve to another, to another, to another. And so I can think of a couple songs. You know, you have that Imagine Dragons song talking about, being in a classroom and people going, what are you doing? And he's saying, I'm scheming for the masses. And now here you are in the nosebleed watching me on stage. So Dan Reynolds, lead singer of Imagine Dragons, he had a dream, he had a thought, an idea, he had a song, he put it down, he did it. Just incredible. I mean, it really is. I'm trying to think of the second one because I lost thought of the second one as I was going over the first one. Uh, I mean, you have the one, you have that Nelly song, where people have looked down on him at some point, and then and then next thing you know, they're asking him for tickets, and he's like, "Are you for real?" And then he's like, "Blank, no." Um, and again, we handle things differently. But the thing is, when you're the one putting in the hard work and you're doing things and you're doing it, people might be like, "Well, it wasn't that I didn't believe you. It just seemed, bigger than life." Well, that's what it is. That's what dreaming is, what it feels like, and it can look like from the outside. But that's what makes when it happens, when and if it happens, it makes it so much sweeter. Yeah, you see Lucy, she had some surgery last week, so yeah, might see her with her cone. Oh, poor doggy. As soon as we can, we're gonna take that cone off. That's for her safety and for her healing. So hopefully it's been a little bit of a show about dreaming, about some days being busier than others. Yeah. I keep thinking about Rob Schneider and The Water Boy, long movie, long, long time ago. He's like, "You can do it." And I just want to leave you with that because you can do it. You can. You can do it. You can do it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We're sending love and support your way. And thank you again for being a part of our Voices for Voices community. Take care. Bye bye for now.